And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was, since there was a nation, even to that same time. And my mind goes to Hitler and gas chambers, being stripped of not just my clothes, but only being left with the skin clinging to my bones. My mind goes to Hiroshima and the atomic bomb, where death lingers and stains the atmosphere and suffering is prolonged. My mind goes to lynches and mobs covered with white sheets, probably washed by the same black hands they'll be tying to trees. My mind goes to being packed like sardines, running for your life in barren fields as dogs bite the flesh of my feet, being tied to torture machines, being thrown to my knees to watch the inflicting of pain and death of all my loved ones. All kinds of things that are too hard for my mind to think upon. I only know that hearts will fail. I only know that the history books of hate will pale in comparison to what will be done. And each faithful of God will feel like Elijah, that they are the only ones. But the bitterness in the belly is sweet to the tongue. For even as we tell this world's destruction, Michael will stand up. He stands because mercy no longer lingers, and the time of trouble isn't because the foe has won, but because, like David to Goliath, the end of the battle is nigh, so God sends his champion. Hell will be coming for the devil and his angels, salvation to the true and the faithful, death to the wicked and the unbeliever, but he who is life will make to rise all who would have completely surrendered to Christ. Beloved, if you read and if you understand and believe, you are the wise. For as you read, you see the end, finding refuge not in peace and safety, but in the Almighty hand instead. Those that pretend in profession only to believe the truth will be counted as the fool, because a rejection of his law is a rejection of his right to rule, and in the final will turn and be the bitterest enemy of those whose patience has perfected the faith in dying to self daily. Because judgment must begin in God's church first. We see those who we call brethren immersed within the curse because they never really trusted him. At every junction, failing their test of fidelity, flirting with ease and comfort living, compromising with the enemy, never heeding the final call. So Christ stopped knocking, because their heart's door was now a wall. And so they turn on those who choose to continue bearing Christ's cross, with feigned lips of sympathy to convince you of lies, that concessions with the world is a better way of gaining the prize of converting the blind. But the blind cannot perceive when others cannot see. So then those who should know out of love for money or fear of reproach teach the blind to not believe. They choose Barabbas, a pathetic replacement of the divine. And like Christ, the faithful are sold out to the shearers with a kiss to be crucified. And then it gets worse. The climactic conclusion of wars and rumors of wars, earthquakes and pestilence. Men roam like zombies who have lost their God-given conscience, who will partake to crush all who are called standard bearers. But even though right at the end it will seem like the flag of Prince Emmanuel trails in the dust, the standard will come clothed with his vesture dipped in blood. Saints, remember that he is judge. The sacrifice has already been accepted. His blood has run crimson for everyone who rejected the claim that Satan made. He said, skin for skin. They will curse you to your face and give up Christ to save their life, the same life that doesn't even belong to them. But his accusations will fail when robes made white will prevail, who endure until the end, who say, though my God slay me, yet will I trust him. You see, Satan cannot tempt a soul who no longer has a propensity to sin. Saints, it will be like it's too much. But remember, heaven is cheap enough. Don't let your hearts fail. Don't let your minds wander. The enemy will come in like a flood. But the King of Kings and Lord of Lords has a sword for his tongue. And when he says it is done, all who despise the truth The same truth at the hands that the small remnant had clung will be the weapon of sin and sinners' obliteration. We will sing freedom like Moses sung. Michael will stand.